I think if more people talked about this openly, there would be more change. But because like there's stigma and people want to gatekeep, like
I got a 21 on my ACT. I went to community college. Anybody can be a software engineer. You don't have to be a genius. You don't have to be very good at math.
Hi, my name is Pooja. Welcome to my channel. I have Julia, Lim, and how do you say your last name, Michael?
Sariani.
Michael with me today. They're both software engineers at Target, and I wanted to introduce them to you guys so you could learn a little bit more about Target as well as their journeys into being a software engineer. So, Julia, take it away.
Oh my God, I thought Michael was going first. Okay.
Oh, sorry. Okay, Michael, take it away.
Wait, so am I going first or not? Hi, I'm Michael Sariani. Graduated from the University of Minnesota. I started doing computer science my sophomore year of community college, and then I transferred to the U of M and then graduated with a degree in computer science. From there, I got a job at Target and have been working at Target since then.
Nice.
Yeah. Cool. I can introduce myself too. Hey everyone, I'm Julia. I graduated from the University of Michigan with a degree in computer engineering, focus in embedded systems. And then I flipped once I started working full-time for Target to be a front-end engineer. So I've done like a little bit of both. Hopefully my experiences can help people understand what engineering is about.
Well, welcome Julia and Michael. So I guess I'll get started with my first question, and I'll direct this one at Michael since you introduced yourself first as well. So what got you started in software engineering?
So initially, I went to college to become a chemical engineer because I really liked chemistry. I figured out that organic chemistry wasn't as easy as I thought it was going to be. So then I took my very first, I was taking general classes at community college, and then I took my very first programming class in I think it was C++, but like making a calculator in code and then having the computer like print out some stuff. I thought that was pretty cool. That's like kind of what got me into computer science. And then from there, I transferred to the U of M and then just took classes mostly geared towards like software engineering and algorithms and stuff like that.
Cool. Awesome. And what about you, Julia? What got you into software engineering?
That's a good question.
Save money.
Well,
money.
So the real story. So I like had to choose my high school electives in middle school, which I think about now, which is like kind of ridiculous. So you have to like choose electives that you want to do, right? And one of the electives is like electrical engineer, or like there's this whole Project Lead the Way program where you do engineering electives in high school. So like, oh, okay, that's fine. I thought it was better than like, I don't know, cooking or sewing or other electives and stuff like that. So I picked that. And then by the time I had to start applying for colleges, like my counselor's like, oh, what do you want to like go apply for? And I'm like, I don't know. I guess I should do engineering since I took like 4 years of it. It was really fun though. All the electives I took were super eye-opening. And I think it was a unique experience being only like one of 4 or 5 girls in all these electives. So yeah, I entered college with the computer engineering in mind because I Googled which engineering major makes the most money. And it was that one. But like, haha, for me, because I didn't even end up like with a job in that field. So yeah, now I'm a CS or computer software engineer, and doing like front end stuff, which again, not related to my major, but it's like, it's all connected in the end. Same,
sure.
Yeah, same world, but different tech stack. But yeah, that's how I got started.
Okay, awesome. And are there any like particular classes that either of you took that you would say really helped you in the job that you have today?
My front end job that I have right now, I took like 1 semester course. It was like all about UX UI. And so all of that is like what I use today. I don't use any embedded systems knowledge like C and all that stuff. Like I don't use that in my day-to-day today, but I could like in the future if I wanted to switch careers. Yeah, Michael's smiling.
Yeah, what about you, Michael?
I mean, I'm kind of like Julia. Most of the stuff at the U of M, I mean, or the University of Minnesota, sorry, not the U of M, was like theoretical. I think a lot of people could agree with that. The only classes I feel like that could have been valuable is like for like leak code wise is algorithm classes.
Oh yeah.
My database class, I didn't really do too much database. Like we didn't even make database. It was mostly drawing like diagrams and stuff. I'm trying to think of like other classes. I feel like the most helpful class for me that I took was like intro to operating systems. And it's really weird because most of it was in C, but it kind of teaches you like how a computer thinks and how operating systems are written. But is it relevant to anything I do at work right now? No, not at all. But I really enjoyed it. Same as the algorithms. I remember this is kind of a story from when I was at TCF. Oof, I don't know if I can name drop, but I was at TCF as an intern. And the very first project I was working on was some kind of sorting thing. And I asked them if I should write like a bubble sort or one of those things. And they all laughed at me because they're like, just use the dot sort. I was like, oh, okay. But yeah, I haven't, at least at Target, I haven't had to write any like algorithms like that, none of that complex stuff, which is nice because I don't really remember a lot of it. So
Yeah,
and
it's
you
like
can
all
Google most
abstracted
of it.
away in dot sort or like other libraries that you can pull in. Cool.
Exactly.
So my next question is, what do you enjoy about being a software engineer specifically at Target?
Julia, you go first.
Well,
Talk about it.
okay. I'm thoroughly enjoying my time at Target. I think aside from like pay, aside from like take away everything else and just only focusing on the type of work that I'm doing and Target culture, like how people work and function together as teams and like the values that they have. I do really enjoy like Target as a company. Like I think I'm very proud to work for Target, especially since like yeah, we're a software engineer, but then we also work for this like corporation that helps families find joy in everyday lives, right? That's our motto, I think. And like we have stores everywhere. Like you're constantly reminded of the place that you're working at, especially in Minnesota. Like there's a Target on like every corner. So like people know who you work for. So yeah, you get that street cred, but also like you feel proud. Like when you
For sure.
go into a Target, you're like, hey, like I made that. Like I helped make this place function. So that's a cool part. And I think Target culture, like it's very inclusive. Like people, it's like relatively young environment, especially in like our team that we work on and my previous team that are also pretty young. I can't speak for other teams. I'm sure there's like other engineers that have a lot more experience and they can speak for themselves. But I think, yeah, we have a very open-minded culture, embraces diversity and just encourages learning, like 50 days of learning. I think we can talk about that, right?
Yeah.
Maybe. Yeah. Like so Target has 50 days of learning, which shows that like every Friday, pretty much you get to take for yourself just to learn whatever you want to. So like whether that's a new skill or like personal growth or you want to take a course, like Target really encourages that, which I enjoy. I think I need to take advantage of that more. But yeah, I think it's a thing that I'm proud to talk about.
Mhm. And it's cool too that you mentioned like you feel as though you're making a big impact because you can go into the stores and literally see the things that you actually made. That's really cool.
Yeah. Yeah. But aside from all that, Michael can talk about the other factors.
The thing that I like most is because like Target, coming out of college, especially in Minnesota, like Target is probably the one of the biggest corporations or companies. And I think Target has that like, I don't know, it's like that good corporation. Like Julia said, they're trying to help out a lot of people, especially during like when the George Floyd riots and stuff happened, they rebuilt that Target. They try to put them, they what do you call it? They adjust their prices based on the demographics and where people are, and the stuff that they put inside of their stores is based on the demographics too, which is very nice. You don't really see that from like a Walmart. I don't know what other stores there are, but like
Yeah,
things like
drag them
Walmart.
down. Drag them
Or
down.
Amazon.
I feel like all Walmarts are the same, but like Target, I feel like the technology is crazy, like the drive up and all that. Like you don't see those at Walmart. Like I'm never gonna try to order a drive up at Walmart or Costco or Sam's Club. Like it just like it's not there. And I think Target kind of got ahead of that. So it feels like you're working at a tech company, but like you're not working at a tech company. I don't know if that's fair to say, but Target is definitely like a tech company, but at the same time, it is also a retail company. And I don't know. The other reason I kind of like working here too is like Julia said, like it's just a good company, I guess. And everybody here is very nice. The culture is very nice. Work-life balance is probably the best that I've seen. I mean, we're software engineers, so we get to work from home, but I've heard bad things about other companies where they got to work a lot. So I'm not saying that we don't work a lot. I'm just saying that the balance is there.
Right, sure.
Right.
But yeah, I don't know. I don't know what else I like about it. It's cool working with smart people. There's a lot of smart people at Target too. So
Yeah,
you
I
learn a
agree.
lot here.
Yeah, that's awesome. And I like the fact that you were like, it feels like a tech company, but at the same time, it's also like different because there's like other aspects to it that's like unique from it being just solely a tech company. And I kind of
Mhm.
felt that too when I was there. Like it feels very inclusive and fun, and like they've built a culture where people don't want to leave just because it is super fun. But then you also get to work on, again, like cutting edge technology, which is super cool. Um,
Mhm.
so yeah, that's awesome. So I guess my next question is to either of you, what are some improvements that you could like you think that could be made at Target, like specifically being a software engineer?
All right, Julia, do you want me to, or do you want to go, or should I go? You
Well, I
go.
can I can segue into it. So when Michael said like we are like a tech company, but we're also not really like a tech company, I think yeah, and like the work culture that's reflected, but also in terms of like competitive talent recruiting, I don't think we can compete with like Amazon and Facebook and all those other really, really big tech companies because one, like we're not that large scale. Like Target Tech, very intimate setting, I think, like because we have so many talented people, I'm sure we don't need that many. Like we don't need like a surplus of engineers. Like we have enough to get the work done. But I think that causes us not to be as like competitive. Like we don't see Amazon, Best Buy, and other people as our competitors when it comes to recruiting talent. And because of that, I think like the offers are less competitive or like the benefits are less competitive. Like to be very frank, I think yeah, we could do better if we want even higher talent or just like more engineers, right? Which I think we have the budget to get, but for some reason, that's like not my jurisdiction. I'm not in leadership, but if I was, I would question why we're not hiring more. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean they're doing really well, so I'm sure they have the budget.
Yeah, Michael, you can add on to it.
Yeah, I agree with Julia.
Mhm.
Yeah, for the amount of money that Target makes, I think that they definitely could be recruiting like I wouldn't say higher talent, but like maybe a more competitive pay range or salary. I mean, it is a Fortune, I think 30 or 50 company, so it's
Yeah.
like up there. And they do compete. Totally forgot about Best Buy, but like compared, like if I was gonna go to any retailer, I probably would go to Target instead of like Best Buy. Well, I mean, Best Buy has all the electronics, but like compared to Walmart, you would definitely go to Target. We do work with like the cutting edge technology, but sometimes those things don't reflect. I mean, we do get paid a lot for coming out of college,
Mhm.
but like after college, like you should get a little bit more if you
For
know what I
sure.
mean. Like
Well, okay.
after experience wise, there's a lot of
Sure.
politics for this because like new
Yeah.
TLPs and
Yeah.
making that doesn't make sense to me.
And
But
like I'm sure this is not just a target area of improvement. Not going to call it a problem, but an area of improvement either. Like I'm sure other tech companies are also like battling like differences in pay compared to newer people because like we're going through a pandemic, right? I'm sure nobody really expected everyone to be working from home slash like all the relocation adjustments and blah 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 blah, right? At the same time, like because we are in the tech section of like careers and we do think about our friends who are in Amazon or Facebook or Microsoft, like I think we have every like opportunity to compare like amongst ourselves and say like, hey, why aren't we all being paid when we're doing like similar work, or like when we come from the same talent pool? Does Target not want to show like their appreciation in terms of monetary compensation? I don't know. I don't know how that works. But yeah, I think it's a very valid topic. And I think if more people talked about this openly, there would be more change. But because like there's stigma and people want to gatekeep, like, yeah, gatekeep.
Sure.
That's the consequence, right? If there was more discussion, I think there would be more like rally and then improvements. But
Yeah, I did have a discussion with our manager about this.
Okay.
And the biggest thing, like I know if you look at most of the big tech companies you go to, they give you like stock options, those kind of things, like those kind of compensations to encourage the worker to stay there. And like when you get those stock options or whatever signing bonus or whatever, it encourages you to stay at the company, because if the company does good, then you do good. At Target, I don't think that they give compensation to any of like the newer people. So what happens is like, sure, you go through the TLP program, you did all that learning for 1 year, Target invested in you for 1 year, but like you don't have any like real connection with Target, because like you don't benefit if Target does good or bad, besides like your yearly bonus. Versus like if you went to a company that offered you stock options, sure, you're going to stay there for like 1 or 2 years to get your stock. And then hopefully you're going to want to work. I mean, who doesn't work hard, but like you'd work harder, I guess, or hope that the company does good so that both you and the company makes money. But what I've been seeing lately here is that people will go through like the TLP program, stay for a year, or maybe not even stay through the whole TLP program.
right.
And then they'll just leave. And then that's like Target investing so much money into onboarding somebody, and then for them to just leave after 1 year, which is like,
Sure.
I heard that what do you call it, like onboarding and recruiting cost companies the most amount of money, because they're investing, Target invested 1 year into you, and then you just kind of leave because you have no tie to Target as like if they're doing good or bad. That's like my spiel about that, but that's like an improvement I think that they could make.
Yeah. And then I'll say like one more thing just to add on to this. Like, I don't think when we talk about areas of improvement, it's like not out of malicious intent. Like we love Target. Like we love working for Target. And I think as like faithful Target employees or whatever you want to call it, like we want to do everything that we can in our power to make sure like the people that we work with stay with us, because we love working with them and we love working for Target. But it's hard to do when like Target sometimes doesn't show that they want to keep up with the times. Like if they're not going to keep up with these competitive offers, they're going to lose talent and then they're going to fall behind. So it's like, yeah, it's for our benefit, but also like we love working here, we want to stay here. But if they're not going to pull and push in the same way that we are, then yeah. Like, I'm sure everybody has to think about their careers for themselves. So
that was another thing that we kind of brought up too, was like I think, what is it, every half a year or something, 40 or something TLPs come. It's like, imagine you hire 40 new TLPs and then they stay here for 1 year and then they all just leave. Like you just invested so much money into 40 new TLPs when you could be hiring either people outside of the TLP program, or you could be, I don't know, give incentive for the TLPs to stay. But from what I've been seeing is most of them don't stay. So
it does, because you end up being like a tight-knit group. And then kind of as you said, if you're not able to retain your employees, it takes a lot more money to then retrain them. Plus CLPs, they typically do 6 months on one team and 6 months on another team. So they don't like contribute for a full year on one team. So that's like even more money lost if you're not able to keep them there. So I guess the next question is, I guess I kind of already asked this. Like, what advice would you give to college students and or people who are new to the industry, like that don't know how to get started with software engineering? Yeah, that's pretty much it.
I can go first, Julie, if you want.
yeah.
So coming out of college, I think the best thing you can do is apply for internships as soon as possible. When I was at the U of M, I worked as like a web developer for the university for some website. I forgot, Family of Social Sciences. that kind of got me my internship at TCF Bank. I think what got me the job at Target was in the interview when I explained everything that I did at TCF Bank, which was a lot because I was an intern there for almost, I'm going to say a year and a half, because they let me work remote my senior year. And then in the summer too, all summer. That really was like, I think what got me the job at Target, because they really liked the project I worked on and I explained all of it. The other thing was too, I had my own personal project that I was able to actually like demo at in the middle of the interview. I pulled out my phone and pulled out my little Spotify app that I made. And I was like explaining how I deployed it and stuff. They were very impressed. And I was like, nice. I was like, nice. But I think what do you call it? Applying for as many internships as you can. But I think the biggest thing, if you want to get a job after college, is 100% like have some kind of personal project that you can talk about. But yeah, that's my advice.
No, I completely agree with everything Michael said. I think the only things I would add is that when you think about the projects that you want to invest your time in, don't do it just because it looks cool or because like it has a tech stack, but actually find something that combines both your true passion or your interest and like your technical skill. I think something that recruiters look for the most is like a drive. Like they want to know that you're actually interested in the job that you're applying for, or like the skills that you want to learn. And then you're not just trying to make something like technically really complex. I think like if you're super smart and you make this awesome product on your free time or whatever, and you can explain your courses, that's great. But without like a personal story to you, or like without properly showcasing like what you're interested in, I think it's hard for recruiters to like match you to certain jobs that they have open. My first internship that I got like in college, my GPA was so trash because I was struggling really, really hard in like this one course, but like they didn't care. They didn't even ask for it, because I think when I asked my recruiter like, oh, why did you like pick me, because I don't think I like really deserve it, I was going through like imposter syndrome and all this stuff, she's like, oh, well, you just showed like a high interest in the work that we're doing right now, or be smart, be proactive about your resume, make sure it's up to date, get it checked over all the time, whenever you can, but also like, yeah, figure out what you're interested in, because you don't want to be working for a job that you hate just to get it. So
in college, sorry mom and dad, but the first D I ever got was in Calc 3 or Calc 4, and that was just like, I had the biggest imposter syndrome, like, should I be in college? Am I gonna graduate? But the GPA requirement was like 3.2. And I think coming out of community college, my GPA was 2.9 or 2.8. So when I got to the U of M, I actually surprisingly did a lot better than I did at community college. I'm not going to say that it is the community college fault, but I think just the more resources I had at the U of M and then the more friends I made, it was like a lot easier. And I finally got my GPA above. I think I was like at a 3.3. It wasn't, my GPA was not good. I was getting C's and B's and A's. My parents would be very mad if they saw my transcript. A GPA is a GPA. I'm not even saying a 3.0, because I've known a lot of friends that have lower than that and they're all very smart. And a 4.0 does not, nobody cares. Nobody cares when you get a real job, like what GPA you had or what college you went to or what degree you have. As long as like you can do the work, like nobody cares.
Yeah, you could be the smartest person in the room, but if nobody knows what you're working on, like that doesn't do anything. But yeah, GPA is just like a simple indicator of academic success. I don't think it's like a full picture by any means of who you are and what you can bring to the table. So yeah, like work hard, have a good work ethic, but also communicate like how do you perform under stress? Like what are your top qualities? Like are there any times where you felt challenged? How did you navigate them? So like very HR type of questions, like as cheesy as they are, I think they try to dig at like who you are as a professional, like young professional and like a young coder, not just like how well you study or don't. Yeah, that's about it.
That's very inspirational. I think I'm feeling really inspired today, so I'm sure everyone will be.
That's
Cool. Well, thank you so much, both of you. So I hope you liked watching that video. If you want to get in touch with Michael or Julia, check out their YouTube channels in the description below. I'm really grateful that they were able to come and talk about their experiences. Now, if you have any experiences in the software engineering industry, I would love it if you would leave a comment below on what your experiences are and any advice that you would give to people that are just starting out in the industry. Thanks again for watching, but I'll see you guys next week. Goodbye for now.